Welcome to the BVTV Network, coming to you from the UK studios of BizVision. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. This is episode 2 in this BVT Quartet. Yes, that's 4 videos, quartet with the CEOs and founders of Discover.Live. Hello again, Tricia Norton.
Hello, Malcolm. Thank you again for having me.
Well, I see you're still in Venice, which is quite nice, isn't it? Yeah. I'd stay there forever if I.
So would I.
Yes, without a doubt. Mind only in certain times if I could afford it, because it can be costly. But if, as you quite rightly said in episode 1, if you use Discover.Live and get around the back streets, it's much more fun. Let's explore during this episode the differences between what Discover.Live offers and, say, the free videos you can view on YouTube or a tourist board's website, or even a video article by a journalist. What are you thinking here?
Oh boy, there's so many differences. I would start with the fact that we're live, just like our name, Discover.Live. The live experience is very, very different than watching a pre-recorded video. The fact that you can speak to and see the tour guide can see you and speak to you. Often they're calling each other by name throughout the tour. So the live aspect and being able to ask questions and really satisfy your curiosity about everything that you're seeing and taking in is a distinct difference. I would say the other thing is the personalization. Discover.Live takes pride in the fact that we want to make these custom to all of our guests. So if you have interest in art and architecture, that's what we'll focus the tour on. If you're a foodie, we will make sure that the tour guide is focused more on the food experience. So they're personal to your tastes, no pun intended, but personal to your tastes and desires. And so this is really like in-person travel.
That is lovely. That is perfect, because, again, based on my experience, you've got different age groups have different sort of wants and needs, haven't they? Some people may not want to walk across cobbled areas. They just want to be able to sit and just take in the atmosphere, particularly in across Italy, where there's some fantastic places just to sit with a cappuccino and just actually understand what's happening around you. So I like that customization. So important today, isn't it?
It's very important. And it's funny that you said that, because we actually had a guest one time on a tour of Venice. And rather than walking around and having the tour guide show them, she wanted to sit at the Cafe Florian and just watch the passers-by at St. Mark's. And so that's what they did for an hour together. He just held his camera, his smartphone, so that she could see all the people going by. He spoke to people. He spoke for her to people, and she just enjoyed an afternoon at St. Mark's at the Cafe Florian.
Wonderful.
Incredible.
And so if, for example, one of my viewers said, I want to learn more about the Uffizi in Florence, you'd be able to help there?
Absolutely. Certain museums have rules about using cameras inside, but what we have done is we've kind of created, in fact, if it was the Uffizi that was of interest, our tour guide would be there live. He would be showing the whole beauty of the exterior, which in and of itself is a marvel to take in. And then he would actually use a series of videos and pictures to show certain things inside while telling the story of these famous works of art. So there's ways to get in and around even some of the rules of museums if you can't enter into them, and Uffizi is one of them. So it's an amazing tour, but it's all done, live and virtually.
Yeah, and Agos as well. There are places that people may be a bit worried about traveling to at times. I've, as I say, I've spent a lot of time in Israel, but it's a little bit worrying at times in Jerusalem, because it can get very crowded and packed in that. So people can learn. And learning is an exciting thing, isn't it? You're learning about the culture of a country. You're learning about things that open your mind. So you don't necessarily have to be there, do you?
No, you do not have to be there. And our tour guides are all certified, highly educated. Many have PhDs in their area of expertise. In Egypt, they're Egyptologists. So you're getting the experience of an expert, really.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be there. And in fact, that's part of the beauty, right? These tour guides are used to having 30, 40 people around them, and now they're giving virtual tours. It's just them. And so the space is even more open in a very interesting way. And in fact, we just recently did a tour of Jerusalem, and it was beautiful. We put a message in the wall at the end of the tour, and our tour guide actually sang a song in his local language, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a fantastic way of that you've developed here. That you couldn't have done it without what we have today, though, the internet and that. So, do you see Discover.Live developing more into metaverse? Or will you and I be chatting in a couple of years' time to update me, and we'll be sitting with our helmets on?
Yes, I do see that happening. For those who are interested, I see that happening. For those who just want to sit at Cafe Florian, we'll have that tour for them as well. But yes, Discover.Live will be expanding into the metaverse, and that will be a great question for Jason next week too.
Yes. But Tricia, is it okay if I book the gondola now, and we'll have the bottle of wine at the same time? Is that okay?
Absolutely, I will be there with you.
We'll go for that. Yeah. Okay, Tricia, let's give viewers and listeners details of where they can go to find this fabulous experience that you're developing. Your URL, which is obviously viewers, you can see it on the screen behind me, but for listeners, it's all the W's.discover.live. Discover.live. That's an easy one to write down, isn't it? Now, in episode 3, I'm going to be off to chat with Jason Weiss, who is Tricia's co-CEO, and we'll be discussing what you can learn from viewing a Discover.Live. We're going to go to a particular destination and a few other things there that we'll be talking about to them. So can I say, Tricia, it has been wonderful meeting you. And how long are you stopping in Venice for?
Oh, I'll be here for at least the next hour.
That is lovely. Thanks very much indeed for your 2 episodes.
Thank you, Malcolm. It's been a pleasure.